What if the mower you just bought was quietly designed to break down right after your warranty runs out? That sounds like a conspiracy, but it's not. It's a business model, and once you see it clearly, you'll never walk into a big box store the same way again. Before we go further, if you've ever felt like you spent good money on something that let you down too soon, hit that like button right now. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And share this with someone you know who's about to buy a mower. You might save them $1,000. Let's get into it. Every spring, millions of people walk into Home Depot or Lowe's and stand in front of a wall of riding mowers. The names are familiar. The prices seem reasonable. The boxes are covered in words like heavy-duty and commercial grade and built to last. And for someone who's been buying from those stores for 20 or 30 years, that familiarity feels like safety. It isn't. Here's what's actually happening. The outdoor power equipment industry has quietly split into two worlds. There's the world most homeowners shop in big box stores, recognizable brand names, wide aisles, and salespeople who are reading off the same tag you're reading. And then there's the other world, the dealer network, the professional landscaping crews, the people who run mowers 6 to 8 hours a day and cannot afford to have equipment fail on them. Those two worlds sell very different machines. And the marketing language on the big box floor is specifically designed to make you think you're getting the second world when you're really getting the first. Take two words you've probably seen on almost every mower at Lowe's. Commercial grade. Sounds impressive, sounds like it means something official. But here's the truth: in the United States outdoor power equipment market, that phrase has no legal definition. There is no standard it has to meet, no certification, no inspection process. A company can stamp commercial grade on any machine it wants, and nobody is going to stop them. It's a marketing phrase, not an engineering certification. Real professionals use that term very differently. When a landscaper calls something commercial grade, they mean specific things. A fabricated welded steel deck, not a stamped one. An engine from Kawasaki or a commercial spec Kohler. And a transmission that a technician can actually open up and service when something goes wrong. Not a sealed unit. A sealed unit that fails means a full replacement at full cost. The big box brands are not building machines to that standard. They're building to a price point. And the way you build to a price point is by making decisions on deck thickness, on transmission quality, on engine spec, that save money up front and shift the cost onto the buyer later, usually right around year 2 or 3. Technicians who work on these machines see this pattern constantly. Cracked decks, transmission failures, belt problems, showing up in that 2 to 3 season window, almost on schedule. And here's the part that should make you stop and think. The warranty on most of these machines is written to expire just before that window opens. That's not an accident, that's design. Now who gets hurt most by this? Older homeowners, people over 60 who have been loyal to these brands for decades. People who no longer have a truck or a trailer to haul a 600-pound zero-turn to a service center. People who trusted the name on the box because the name on the box used to mean something. When your warranty claim gets denied, and cracked decks get denied as impact damage all the time, even at 30 hours of use, you're not just out the repair cost. You're out the time, the logistics, and the dignity of being told the machine you trusted let you down, and it's somehow your fault. This is the trap, and most people don't see it until they're already in it. So let's talk about the 3 brands that exist outside that trap entirely. The first one might surprise you, and there's a good chance you've already dismissed it without ever looking closely at it. Kubota. When most American buyers hear that name, they think Japanese company. And for some buyers, that ends the conversation before it starts. There's a loyalty to buying American that's real, and that makes sense. But here's what those buyers don't know, and what the brand's critics never mention. Every zero-turn mower Kubota sells in the United States is built in Gainesville, Georgia. The facility is called Kubota Manufacturing of America. It opened in 1988. It now covers over 3 million square feet. It employs more than 3,500 people. And in 2012, Kubota invested $140 million to expand it in welding technology, painting systems, and production capacity. That's not a company slapping an American label on an imported machine. That's a company that built its American manufacturing infrastructure over decades and keeps pouring money into it. The machine isn't Japanese. The machine is Georgian. And that distinction matters a great deal when you're thinking about accountability, who's responsible for what gets built, what gets inspected, and what gets shipped. Kubota's Z700 series is described on their own product page as completely designed and manufactured in the USA. The engine is a Kawasaki FX or a Kohler Command Pro, both commercial spec. The transmissions are dual Parker commercial-grade units. Parker is not the brand you find in a big box machine. Parker transmissions are what commercial crews run because they're serviceable. A technician can open them, diagnose them, repair them, and extend the life of the machine. When a sealed K46 unit fails, and on hilly properties, they fail with predictable regularity, the entire unit gets replaced at full retail cost. That's a repair bill that can run into the hundreds and sometimes more, coming right at the moment your warranty has just expired. The Kubota deck is 6 inches deep, fully welded, built from 8-gauge steel. That's not a spec you'll see on the Lowe's floor because it's not a spec the Lowe's floor can match at that price point. The residential warranty is 4 years or 750 hours. That's longer than most big box machines offer. It's also longer than most of them actually run before the repair bills start showing up. And it covers you through exactly the window, years 2, 3, and 4, when the machines at Home Depot are starting to reveal what they're really made of. Kubota is dealer only. That matters. The dealer who sells you the machine stocks the parts for that machine, knows that machine's history, and built their whole business around keeping that machine running. Their incentive is completely different from the big box store's incentive. The big box store's relationship with you ends at the register. The dealer's relationship with you is just beginning. The buyer who dismisses Kubota because of the name is making the same mistake the big box buyer makes when they trust the label on the Lowe's floor. In both cases, the name is doing the work that the spec sheet should be doing. Read past the name. Read the spec. The machine in Georgia is not what the name makes you assume. The second brand is one that professionals already respect. They just stopped explaining it to people because the explanation takes time and they've got work to do. Exmark. Exmark started in 1982 in Beatrice, Nebraska, with 7 employees. In 1995, they introduced the Laser Zero Turn. That machine has held leading market share in its class in the United States ever since. Not because of advertising, not because of big box distribution. Because landscape crews run their equipment 6 to 8 hours a day, and a machine that can't hold up under that kind of use gets replaced by something that can. In the professional world, reputation is built through performance, not packaging. Toro acquired Exmark in 1997, but manufacturing stayed in Nebraska. A significant facility investment completed in 2019 made that commitment clear and public. Exmark is still built where it was built. That's not an accident, it's a choice. For residential buyers, the Quest line is the entry point, and it starts under $4,000. It's built in Beatrice. The warranty is 3 years or 300 hours. Think about what that means in practical terms. The machines at big box stores typically carry 2-season coverage. 2 seasons puts you outside warranty right at the moment technicians say failures start showing up. 3 years or 300 hours means Exmark is still accountable during that exact window. A company willing to stand behind its machine during the period when its competitors' machines are breaking down is telling you something important about how that machine is built. The Quest X series runs a fabricated, welded cutting deck powered by a 24-horsepower Kohler Vitwin. You will not find it at Home Depot. That's not a limitation. That's actually the point. Dealer-only distribution means something specific. It means the shop that sells you the machine is built around that machine. They have the parts. They know the serial numbers. They know the common service points. When something needs attention, you're not sitting on hold with a big box warranty line waiting 3 months for a resolution while your lawn gets away from you. You're calling the person who sold you the machine, who has the part on the shelf, and who has every reason to get you back to cutting as fast as possible. The price is higher than what you'd pay at Lowe's. But consider the math honestly. Replacing a $2,000 big box mower every 4 years, plus repair costs in years 2 and 3 before you finally give up on it, costs more over a decade than buying an Exmark once. The math gets easier to see every time you're standing in a dealership explaining what when. Wrong this time. If this video is making you rethink something you almost bought or something you already bought, drop a comment below. Tell me what brand you've been running. Tell me how long it lasted. Real experiences from real people are what this community is built on. And while you're down there, subscribe if you haven't already. This channel exists to give you the information the big box floor will never give you. The third brand is the one with the most unusual origin story, and maybe the most honest one. Spartan. Robert Foster sketched the first Spartan mower on a napkin at his kitchen table. In Batesville, Arkansas, he built the first prototype in his own garage. He launched the brand publicly in 2015, and what he was building wasn't the result of a corporate committee or a focus group or a margin calculation. It was the result of a man who had spent enough time around serious equipment to know exactly where the industry was cutting corners, and who decided to build a machine that fixed those specific points instead. Foster's starting point wasn't a price. It was a failure list. He looked at what was breaking, where it was breaking, and why. And then he built Spartan around solving those problems and set the price after the engineering was done. That is a completely different product philosophy from how big box machines are built, where the price target comes first and the engineering decisions flow downward from what that price allows. The frames are fusion welded from 11-gauge tube steel. The decks are fabricated from 7-gauge steel, not stamped. Spartan uses what they call XDF airflow design, engineered to maintain cut quality across spring, summer, and fall mowing conditions when grass length and moisture levels are constantly changing. The transmissions are Parker or Hydrogear serviceable units. Again, a technician can work on these. They can be diagnosed, repaired, and maintained. They're not a sealed assembly that becomes a full replacement cost when something inside fails. Spartan also built something called the GT track system, specifically for hill performance. Here's why that matters. Hill performance is exactly where sealed transmission machines were failing homeowners. A company that engineers a dedicated solution to a known failure point understood the problem before it designed the product. That's not a feature added for marketing. That's a fix for a documented issue that the big box brands were ignoring because addressing it would cost money. In 2022, Toro acquired Spartan. In 2025, distribution moved into the Exmark dealer network. And here's the important thing to understand about that: Toro is not the machine. Spartan is still built in Arkansas to the spec Foster designed. The acquisition brought distribution infrastructure and parts support, not a redesign. The frame gauge didn't change. The deck thickness didn't change. The transmission serviceability didn't change. What changed is that the parts availability and dealer infrastructure that made Exmark the professional's choice now backs Spartan as well. That's the kind of post-sale support that the big box transaction simply cannot offer by design. Entry models start below $5,000. The warranty runs 3 years or 500 hours. Dealer supported, built in Arkansas, by a company that was founded because one person was genuinely tired of what the market was selling people and decided to do something about it. There's something worth saying plainly here. Every brand at Home Depot has an American story somewhere in its history, and none of those stories are entirely false, but none of them are the whole truth either. The specific deception that hurts older homeowners the most is this: the phrase "commercial grade" printed above a stamped deck, wrapped around a sealed transmission, attached to a warranty that expires before the first major failure on a machine too heavy to move without a truck you no longer own. The system is not random. The floor staff at Lowe's isn't lying to you. They probably don't know any of this. They're reading the same spec sheet that was written to obscure exactly the information you just heard in this video. The brand designed it that way, so that the conversation on the floor never gets to transmission suppliers, deck gauge, or what happens in year 3. If you want out of that cycle, here's how to think about your next decision. Kubota is the choice if you want a Georgia-built machine with a 4-year warranty, commercial-grade transmissions, and a name most buyers dismissed before they ever read past it. Exmark is the choice if you're serious about your acreage and done with the replacement cycle. It's the machine that professional crews trust with their livelihood because it earns that trust season after season. Spartan is the choice if you want the engineering spec that Arcile crews expect at a price designed for a homeowner, from a company that was founded specifically to give buyers a way out of the trap this video just described. You've been buying from familiar names because familiar felt safe. But familiar has been costing you in repair bills, in replacement cycles, in the frustration of standing in a dealership explaining what failed this time and why it feels like it always happens just after the warranty ran out. That's not bad luck. That's not your fault. That's the business model working exactly as intended. Now you know how it works, and knowing changes everything. One last thing before you go: if this video changed how you see the mower market, share it. Send it to someone who's getting ready to buy. Post it in a neighborhood group. Because the information on this channel doesn't come from a manufacturer's marketing budget. It comes from the research, the spec sheets, and the real-world feedback that the big box floor will never give you. Liking this video helps more people find it. Subscribing means you're here for the next one. And sharing it means someone you care about doesn't have to learn this lesson the expensive way. The mower you buy next doesn't have to fail on a schedule. Now you know which ones won't.